Yeti. Ah, there we go. Silly OBS being OBS. Just OBS things, am I right? So anyway, good evening, good afternoon, good day. It's been a week. I'm up and running, and welcome to the flight that we were supposed to do on Thursday, but, well, that didn't happen for reasons. But we're back, so there's that. Yay. Allison is on her stream, finishing up her current leg in Africa, doing the Amelia Earhart flights. So that's awesome. Her channel is absolutely exploding with new support and growth, and it's fantastic. The Firefly community has really been a great place and a great place to grow as far as content creation goes. It's been really fantastic. So yeah, but we're here in I think we're still in Tennessee. We're just west of the Bristol Motor Speedway. We're going to make our way up into Virginia and make our way to Martinsville, Virginia, because, well, that's where they're racing this weekend. So, yeah. So we're going to fly up. It's absolutely stunning scenery. If you've never been in the area, which I've kind of been in the area, but not in the area per se. It's absolutely beautiful. Yeah, I don't know what more to say to that. So it should be a good flight. We're in something a little different today. We're in the little Australian Jabiru. It's a fun little airplane. It's kind of along the lines of a 152, so it's low and slow. And if the clouds are any indication, we're going to get bumped around a bit. I was flying it a bit last night in VR, and oh boy, was it interesting. But it is what it is. You know, we grin and bear it and get through it, because, well, that's how we do things. So Viper Strike is in the chat. Hello to you. Hopefully the problems are fixed. Yeah, no, it seems to be for now. I just don't turn off my computer at all. Mic issues. OBS borked on me after the last big Windows update. So I feel you apparently borked for a lot of people. It wasn't the update that. It's just OBS is just. I had to start from scratch. I had to remake the layout and everything. Yeah, so it was for a 1 millisecond, for all I can tell, issue. It created about 12 hours worth of work to get back to what you see now. So yay! But it is what it is. Yeah, Seamus. Aha! I don't have that command. That command has no power here. Good to see you, Seamus. Hope you're doing well, friend. Oh gosh, what a couple of days it's been. Viper Strike, nice plane. Flight Simmer said this is the best add-on from last year. It's a fun little airplane. I got it and then never really spent a lot of time with it, and I feel like I kind of gave it a raw deal in that respect. So we're flying it because, you know, why have something you're not going to use? Chilled Corky's in the house. Good evening to you, my friend. I was. Murph was a champ, and I expect to receive it in kind. Beep 13 is here. Good to see you. Hope you're well. So yeah, we're going to continue our little series of going from racetrack to racetrack, following the NASCAR Cup Series, who are at the paperclip. I had to redo all my flight plans too. That was torture. It's been a couple of days, but so far everything seems to be back. Draco's in. Good to see you, dude. Hope you're well. Down in front is here. Good evening to you. All right. Yeah, thanks, Seamus. I'm telling you, Seamus, your stream on Thursday was my saving grace for sanity, because having the nice, calm chat going on really kept my brain in a stable place, we'll say. So if you haven't checked out, why I'm getting notified of my own chat rules. How about that? So if you're into simulators or chill, relax streams, you should really check out Seamus McNeil, who has been driving the bus. And it's, while I can't see myself driving a bus, having the chat, it's like, it's one of those streams where you feel like you're in the pub with your friends and you're just hanging out, relaxing, and just having the chat. It's a great time. The Firefly network of streamers is just all about being relaxed, chill, and just having a good time. And so Seamus has really been doing a real good job with the streams and whatnot. So check him out. It's worth the follow. Kozaki Flyers here. Good. Hope things are back. So far, we're getting there. Hey, not a problem, Seamus. It's 100% worth it. If there's one thing that I'm able to do constantly, and I have an obligation to do, is give back to the community that's given so much to me. So it's the least I could do, my friend. So anyway, let's get this thing started. Now, it's not a complicated. It's actually less complicated to get going in this than it is a 152. It's a lot simpler. And it comes with different instrument configuration. So you can get mostly steam gauge. You can get these two, which is the Garmin GX. Erlansky is in. Good to see you. Big Tone 66. It's going. That's the best thing I can say. Is it is going. It is no longer at a standstill. There's your reminder for staying hydrated. For a tasty beverage, I have water flavored with strawberry watermelon Mio, and I have a Rip It Tribute CYPX. It kind of tastes like, it's an energy drink that's kind of like an orange creamsicle. It's really good, but it's kind of helping. So we're going to get in here. Battery master's on. We'll turn our beacon on, which I don't think it has a beacon, so we'll turn the nav lights on. Which it doesn't have nav lights, so we'll turn the strobes on, because we want some sort of indication, tell the ground crew, hey, this plane's about to, be active, watch out. And from there we go clear prop. Helps if I unmute flight sim. So we'll turn the avionics on, turn the landing light on, because there is no, I don't know if it's a bug or what, but there's a landing light and then it turns on an interior light, but you can't turn on the interior light separately. And I also noticed there's a bit of a texture issue with the avionics knob. So they look kind of ghosted out, and that's they shouldn't be ghosted out like that. It is what it is. It's a fun little airplane to fly, and more than anything, that's what matters. So we want the full view. Change this to the FMS. As Pate 691 is now found. Many thanks, dude. Hope you're well. Good to have you along. Yeah, me too, Erlansky. The bus, it looks like a great bus sim. Even for being early access and only having the one route in Berlin so far, it really looks very nice. SGA Fly 2, yes, the Jabber, I love this plane, got a cool autopilot. Yeah, so I was just kind of getting around to setting it up, so I want to turn my flight director on. I want to turn nav mode on. And I won't set it yet, but I'll probably just turn it on V-speed, and I won't use the altitude hold. So we'll hold that for now. We want to go to our transponder. We want to use the VFR code, hit enter. And then we want to hit the altitude mode. So we've got our PFD, primary flight display, up and running. And what am I hearing? I don't know what I'm hearing. Flight could probably get turned down just a hair. Ooh, we got an arrow with us. Don't worry, Allison, it's alright. This is not my normal day for, as Two-Tone Murphy with the stream host. This isn't my normal day for streaming, but I have a Thursday stream to make up, so here we are. Don't worry about Allison. Goblin Zeus is coming. So we're going to... We need to see what the winds are, so we need to figure out... Radio... ASAS 118... Words are hard. 118.25. 118. Scrolling and scrolling and 5. Okay, I'm getting nothing out of that one. Nothing out of that one. Well. Huh. Because we kind of need we kind of need the weather information. Oh, we're getting it. We're only getting it textually. Well, I don't trust the Azure text-to-speech anymore. It's not reliable. So we'll give that a second to do its thing. Or is it not wanting to do it at all? Okay, let's try this again. Ooh, this is interesting. Sound. User interface. Well, that doesn't want to work. Well, that's a fine how do you do. Oh, that's awful, Allison. Dougal Metaphysin. With the Saturday stream, that is because I couldn't stream on Thursday because of hardware problems, so I decided to stream today to make up for it. Goblin asks, this is the Jabiru. This is available through Orbix. It's also available on the InSim market. But it comes with a Jabiru 160 and a 170. They're a nice little... I think they're considered light sport, an LSA aircraft. Okay, we have a windsock down there. Abnormal 30 says thunderstorm. Microlight. Microlight is the European equivalent to a light sport in the U.S., so it's one and the same. I think this is too heavy to be categorized as an ultralight here in the U.S., plus it has an extra seat. Therefore, it's a light sport as opposed to ultralight. Ultralight, you can't have any passengers in the U.S. Well, I'll be grundled. I cannot, for the life of me, find windsock. So we'll just go this way, see what happens. Somebody using a livery I don't have, and probably the helicopter. So we'll wander around a little bit, see if we can't find a windsock says 2-3. Well, I haven't found the windsock yet, at least a visible, easy to see one. You can tell it is blowing the socks off of this place. Use this. Nice. It's a fun little airplane. It just haven't taken it out all that much. Well, someone's in a hurry. A little late to be slowing down now. Okay, so it looks like we came to the right end of the runway. We're going to cross the runway. The full flap is powerful overcall. Crash into... Ooh. So far I've had some pretty good luck with it. Oh yeah, look at that windsock. It's pretty windy here. We are currently in Tennessee, making our way into Virginia on the East USA server. It's windy here too. In real life. You'll see my flag here on the right hand side kind of going in and out and in and out. That's the wind. So we're here. So lesser. That should be fine. Just don't expect to unless you have like a default livery that you're running, I probably won't see it. With the winds the way they are, I probably wouldn't fly this in real life today. It was fine earlier today, even though a bit windy. That's kind of distracting. Oh, she does not want to fly. Let's get a notch of flap down and get out of the ground effect. I don't know what that was, but it was a distraction. Okay, flaps coming in. We're going to make sure that our altimeter is set correctly. And definitely don't worry about me getting too far ahead. This thing is not fast. This airplane is a lot of things. Fast is not one of them. So thanks to Seamus, I have picked up some new music for the playlist rotation from courtesy of Stream Beats. So shout out to Seamus for using that on his streams, and I checked it out and I like the cut of their jib. Heli can go to, oh, it should be well enough. That should be well fast enough. This thing might go 100 knots. Indicated. Oh, it's bouncy. Well, thanks everyone for coming out and flying along. Especially with it being a Saturday. A day that I don't normally stream on. Low. We don't necessarily want to go too high, but we don't want to stay... Let's see, where are we at right now? Right about here is good. Actually, we'll just hit altitude. So 3,000 feet for now. Of course, that helps if I activate the autopilot. Pull back on the throttle a little bit. 2,900 RPM. Try holding at 3,000. Yep, it is the Jabiru. I actually did my third leg of me flying all the way around the border of the U.S. Nice. Okay, so we're sorting our... The airplane is figuring out life. There's a Baron. No, that's a Seminole. Excuse me. It's an X-Cub, or one of the Cubs. A couple of generics. It's a little loud on the outside, isn't it? Coming in the virus, nice. Just grabbing some food while watching. Roger that, Allison. You did a great stream today. I was at least around for most of it. I've been extraordinarily nervous about my computer the last couple of days. Been kind of putting it through its paces to one degree or another. I've done some VR flying just to make sure that's okay. I did some flying on VATSIM Thursday night. Actually, it was really early on Friday morning. Flew along with Murph's stream yesterday. Flew slow things, flew some fast things, and crossing fingers, knocking on wood, we're okay. Goblin is in flight, awesome. Lost letter breaks again, just as the camera refresh. Oh no! You gotta fix that loose connection. I saw you check it on... Uh-oh. Come on, Flight Sim. Really, Flight Sim? Really, no problems at all, and then suddenly a sim crash. What gives? What's the dealio? I didn't put the alert box on there. $10 from abnormal 34. Many thanks. I'm gonna add that while I'm thinking about it. Alert box. So we're gonna add that because, well, screen. Bam. Now it's there. Yeah, that's everything's been fine until now. I blame OBS. No, I want that. So error. PC runtime. Interesting. Well, I blame OBS. Terminate that. Yes. Luckily, the flight plan is simple, so it's not that hard to get going again. Just inconvenient. Dangerous Brian's in the house. Good to see you. Yeah, Kozaki. I mean, after everything that's happened to me on Thursday, a sim crash, I'm not gonna sweat it. There's no point. There's a lot worse things. Is what it is. That's a little hard to do that when you don't know that a crash is coming. Scorpio arrived just in time. Yeah, for we just started the flight. Just kind of getting rolling again. Take 2. Is what it is. I'm not gonna get upset. It's no reason and not worth getting upset over. I have you will notice I have changed a few things with the layout and such. Had a complete reboot. Oof. Yeah, I don't need all this talk about issues. I've had enough issues to deal with this week. I don't need more. I've had enough. I feel like I've that out of order too. Hey, there we go. East USA Colton Fish. All you have to do is type in the command !server. Yeah, I had one of those yesterday, and I didn't click anything on the dialogue. I just Alt F4'd, and then it was fine after a little while, because I had noticed my modem had rebooted itself, and then I got the error, but I didn't click on anything in the dialogue. I just closed out I just hit Alt F4, closed out Flight Sim, and it's been fine. Kozaki, go ahead and just keep on rolling forward, because I'm just going to spawn in here. One thing I will say is if you're one of the people that uses dev mode to switch aircraft in without reloading, don't do it. Don't do it. I firmly believe that causes a lot of instability in a lot of people's sims, and it's going to ruin other people's simming experience. So if you could not do that and you do it, that would be greatly appreciated. But yeah, so here's to rip it. These issues are random and affect us all. Yeah. No, it itself shouldn't be an issue, as far as I know. It's changing aircraft using dev mode that can cause, because you're trying to instantly load something completely different, and you know that can upset the balance, as it were. So it's not the aircraft fault itself. Okay, so we're going to we're at we want to go to BLF. BLF. KBLF. There we are. We're going to set departure there. Time Agent 2020 is now following. Many thanks, dude. Hope you're well. We're going to put a 10 to 7. Fly. C. Leonard is now following. Many thanks, dude. It's fine to trap it. I never use dev mode. Well, I do, but for offline debugging. Well, I'm not saying don't use dev mode at all. I'm just saying for the group flights, for anybody that changes aircraft, that's an issue. Dev mode will make it so your time won't get logged. I wish they would make dev mode completely offline. Because it can create a lot of problems for folks. I think it's just one of those things that can create more problems than it's worth. Turn that down a little bit. And of course it's... change to so we're going to altitude 3,000. Well, we'll even give it 3,500. Vertical speed. Nav. And I really wish the in-sim flight planner was much better, because right now it's kind of awful. Okay, make sure everything's on. So then we got to do this. Dashboard, disconnect, connect. Now, I think the only thing that I've added since flying the other day was Volanta. And I'm not a fan. Oh, it's not running though, so I don't know. That up and going. Let's see. All right. So I'm only a little bit behind everyone, instead of incredibly behind it. Look at that. Isn't that something? And don't get me wrong, it's going to be beautiful once the sun kind of rises. We're going to tell our phone to shut up. But this area is absolutely beautiful, and when I was flying around it earlier, I say earlier, I mean last night, which I guess is technically earlier because last night for me was technically today. I'm being pedantic. It's absolutely beautiful here, and we'll end up having to go over some mountains, but we'll get to them eventually. I just look at this. This is just insane. Oh, hide me. $99 in. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. So I think this thing's mostly made out of fiberglass, which makes it non-conductive. So in the event of a lightning strike, we might be okay. Yeah, for general use, there's no reason to use dev mode at all. Roger that, 99 out. We'll be happy to have you along. Yes, this is the Jabiru. It is a DLC plane. It is an add-on. Quite a good one, I might add. Some call it Tennessee, Virginia, which, depending on what part you're in, it's pretty not that wrong. But it's just it's at sunrise. That's just beautiful. Kind of makes you want to play the Doomslayer theme song. I think wasn't Oblivion one of the Elder Scrolls games? What, 5? Elder Scrolls 5? Nice, Kozaki. Yeah, Doom's pretty fun. If you like shooters that are just kind of the classic shoot 'em ups, it's fun. It's good for stress relief. It was after Morrowind. Aha, gotcha. I never played Morrowind or Oblivion, but I have played Skyrim. It was actually, so far it's the only Elder Scrolls game that I've played. Great game, a lot of depth. I still haven't finished it. That lightning shows the land well. Yeah, it does. No, you're right, Viper. So, Morrowind is 3... Elder Scrolls 4 is Oblivion. It's in the right series, though. Just off by a number. I forget what they're calling Elder Scrolls 6. See, now we can get a good look at the terrain. So, Seamus, I know you think that Missouri is rather flat. You should move to Tennessee or Virginia, or even the Carolinas, because There's some nice hillage here. The old classic is Quake and Quake 2. Nice. So we are getting to the point where we are going to have to gain some altitude. So what we're going to do, I'm going here. I'm going to hit vertical speed. Go up to 45. 2, 3, 4, 5. Turn that off. To add some power. One does not simply finish Skyrim. Ain't that the truth? I would move back to Scotland for the hills, but my American... Well, it sounds like she needs a little convincing. Just think of it as a compromise. And I haven't touched Skyrim in a while. Should really get back into that. Actually, I don't really think I played it on the PC at all. I might have started a campaign, but I really only played it on the Xbox One. I haven't really got into it in the PC yet. I don't know if she'd be willing to live with that one, but I mean, that is technically correct, and that is the best kind of correct. It is still a compromise. You might have to drive a bus when you get over there, but... Played Skyrim VR for a while. That was pretty incredible. Nice. Yeah, so far the only VR title that I've ever played in VR has been Flight Sim. Let's see, I grew up around hills. It's the frozen white stuff. I grew up around the frozen white stuff and know exactly what you're talking about. Although for me, it's more the way people forget how to drive the first time the frozen white stuff shows up in a year. Look at this. Mods take Skyrim on PC doing... Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Viper Strike always plays a Khajiit Thief and Archer. Nice. I can't remember the race, but I was always big into the two-handed swords. And I blamed The Legend of Zelda for that. The big Goron sword was my favorite. It was slow, but man, did it hit hard. I was getting pretty good at it too, and then just, I don't know what it was, just stopped. Favorite Bethesda RPG Fallout 4. I started that. I didn't play hardly any of the main story missions. Didn't really get into the plot, the core, whatever. I kind of just went on. I modded it a little bit, and I just went out and I wanted to, take out bad guys. So that's pretty much all I've done in Fallout 4 so far. If I run into a mission or whatever, it's just purely by accident. And I haven't played that in forever. I finished Fallout 3, though. I started New Vegas, got stuck in a DLC. It's like a casino DLC, and I wanted to get out because I didn't want to do it, but I was stuck. And it was just... And then after that, I kind of got to a point, stopped, didn't touch it for a while, lost track of where I was, and I didn't get back into it. Oh, the Fallout, by far as in-game music goes, the Fallout series have done a knockout job getting a nice vintage radio aesthetic. It's been absolutely great. Silent Hunter series, nice. Knock that down a little bit more. Magic Triple Eight is in. Good afternoon to you. Hope you're well. We're making up for Thursday. I'm doing better than I was on Thursday, I can tell you that. Oh goodness. Tell you what, if it wasn't for the Firefly community and the just the chill, relaxed nature of the streams that we have, it would have been a much more frustrating couple of days. But it's been a couple of days. This week, it's been just an absolute roller coaster. Is that live weather? Yes, it is. Speaking of new music for the stream, we'll play some of that new music here in a moment. Oh, there you are. I think we're going to get over this. Pillage. Yeah, we'll be fine. Oh no. Don't click on anything, just Alt F4 out of the sim. And then start it back up. The worst thing you can do is click on either of the options. Just Alt F4 and give it a couple minutes and should be okay. I think we'll be okay. Let's hit the... We might not be okay. Well, that's showing underneath the horizon line. No, 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 no. Don't click on yes. Do not click on yes. Just Alt F4 out of the sim. Don't click on anything. You don't need to go to Control Alt Delete. Alt F4 will work just fine. I strongly recommend against that, Nighty Night Owl. Just Alt F4 the sim. Let's do a straight close down. Yeah, and they're such great help. Oh yeah, we're gonna clear that hill. If I ever do merch, it will be a t-shirt covered in wing mirrors. Well, you gotta feed the wing mirror tip jar. Can you imagine making air? Tell you what, get a 152 and put some wing mirrors on it. Then you can fly and have your wing mirrors. Can you imagine landing a 152 on top of a bus? A moving bus? That'd be interesting. New flight challenge. If there's ever a sim where you can do proper flight simming, proper truck and bus simming, that's got to be a thing. And I love the challenge of the live weather, but even just the visuals just kind of set you back. Seen it at Balthano Air Show, but with a truck. Nice. I know that they, at one point in time, granted it was TV, so who knows, they did that in one of the early episodes of Airwolf. There's like a Federal Reserve or U.S. Bank or some sort of truck hauling like gold, and you know, the helicopter got hired to fly him on, and land on top of it under the guise of it being a movie. And it was a real tricky thing to do. Rebooting Sim didn't give me any trouble in Allison stream. Seeing a Cub land on. Nice. Has anybody seen Robosaurus? Does anybody remember Robosaurus? That might just be a US thing. I remember Robosaurus. It was great. Really slow. Yeah, Asobo needs to get on this out-of-date packages issue because this shouldn't be a thing. Robosaurus. So it's this big robot dinosaur shaped thing, and they take it to the air shows or similar events, and they'd have it like tear apart a car, and in the case of an air show, tear apart an old plane. Not like an old plane, but like a disused junk plane. And so it was shot flames out its nose and out of its mouth and all that, sort of thing. It was more impressive in the 90s than it probably is now, but yeah, when you're a kid, that kind of stuff's like ooh and ah. And I miss air shows. Air shows are great. No, this is a real thing at air shows and other similar events. You have a good night, Pate. Thanks for coming along. You have a good rest of your evening or afternoon, or whatever. Well, be safe on your Call of Duty, not to be confused with the video game. So airport is in sight. I have to say this community has made some great... 100%, Brian. The community that Two-Tone Murphy started really has blossomed into something completely amazing. Seeing Murph do his thing and do Murph things, we were kind of talking about this last night on Discord. Just he's brought a lot of like-minded people, and it's given a place that's really been an encouraging place to try the things that you haven't done before. Like, so many people have thought about getting into streaming and thought it was too hard, and now you got, or, whatever reason why you haven't gotten into streaming. But now you have people like, because I've dabbled with it for years, but I never really hit it hard until Flight Sim came out. But now you have Seamus streaming buses. You've got Allison streaming the Amelia Earhart flights. You have Ailerons Into the Wind streaming, a lot of more by the book stuff on Sunday mornings. It's crazy. Viper Strike's thinking of starting streaming with a series of flying different Major League Baseball stadiums. We have Jay Winokur, who streams a bit more of a variety of things, IL2, Flight Sim, Ground Branch, and that's interesting. A lot of great new content creators, and we can really give Murph a lot of thanks for being that catalyst of sorts to let people find in a creative outlet and whatnot. It's been awesome. Yeah, and then the Thunderflies, they're getting hugely popular. Matt Lukester's doing his thing. So it's been a great community. That's all going down in front. Says Looking forward to Murph doing a stream with us. Yeah, that's going to be awesome. So we want radio. So a sauce 121.55. Oh, he certainly, I don't think he did either, but it's, shoot, he doesn't even want to take credit. So 15814. So we're going to want runway 23 for the landing. He really has, and I even told him that last night. It's like, Murph, you really need to start taking some credit for, you know, the community, for the way things have gone into success, because it really is largely thanks to him. But he's a very humble man, which I have the utmost respect for. We're gonna turn the AP off. Oh, see, that's why I just alt F4 that. I don't click on anything. And luckily, all my flight hours stayed intact. Sorry to hear that, Kozaki. I don't know what credit that I have, though. I mean, I largely credit, you know, Murph and the Fireflies for my growth. I wouldn't necessarily say I've contributed more than just being there and kind of being an American anchor for the community. I help Murph every now and then, but he helps me, so it's kind of, what's the word, symbiotic? Kumbiotic? That's very true. I still remember that weekend very vividly. And then the week of 8-hour two-tone Murphy streams. Well, it's the way I look at it. I'm just giving back to everything, you know, to the generosity and whatnot that y'all have shown me. It's my way of, you know, returning the favor, as it were. Down in front, you've shown us some interesting places to fly in the U.S. Well, I appreciate that. And I definitely never anticipated being kind of a view into the U.S. for European folks. I never kind of saw myself as that, but you're not wrong. That's kind of the way it's been, and I'm just happy that y'all came along. So we're running on landway. Yes, we're running on landway. Landing on runway 23. It is. Okay, so we're almost in the void arc. For flaps. Yeah, we're close enough. I never played multiplayer before. That's awesome, Goblin. Alright, so we're almost reduced to no throttle. And throttle is idle. We're kind of aiming down to get on the glide slope. There's the glide slope. Losing airspeed. Nose up for flare. Bit of a bounce. Not the smoothest landing. Please. Back to the runway, please. That is a crosswind. Alright, so flaps coming up. It really is Goblin and Magic. It's just nuts. No, it's a serious crosswind. Okay, so we're parked up. Hey. Naughty engine. So, parking brake set. Hit that. We're going to get the name tags on. Traffic. Back. Zoom. Hide me. Oh, we're slow. Get that camera moving. Yeah, Concepts in, Frozen's in, Scorpio's in. And the runway is open for landings. Alright, so there's Draco in. There's Druid. Allie has mine. Nice. Roger that, Magic 888. There's Chill Corky in. There's Viper Strike. There's the Thunderflies are in with the Cap 10s. Test Pilot 72, Skydive Man, Masonic Lake, and HCBR 1100. Get this. I've shouted at my PC will fill tomorrow. Roger that. There's Hammy, the one and only, with the Kenmore paint job. There's, I can never remember how to pronounce that, but Eliter, or Elator. It's Irish. So there's Beep 13. Can't tell if they're inbound or outbound. PA 28. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. This is nuts. This is just nuts. Just beautiful. Okay, so beep 1313 is inbound. See Magic 888 over the hill. Kaharia is in. Good to see you. Hope you're well. We're here in, I believe we've crossed the state border into Virginia by now. It really is. So we'll check on beep. Beep's getting closer. We'll see the Thunderflies park up and make ready. And once beep gets down, we'll start making our way towards... Well, I'll have to back out. Well, no, I could do that manually, I suppose. Not a fancy flight plan today. So yeah, the Jabiru, not meant for the wind speeds we're getting here today, but, well, we're flying it anyway. I gotta go. Been summoned to watch another episode. Oh dear. Well, you have my deepest of sympathies, Corky. Best of luck. And remember, we're all here for you. I hear a piper. There's beep. Oh no, beep. Wing strike. Alright, so we're gonna go back into the Yar. I'm gonna unhide me. We're gonna skip this song. Okay, so now we have the... How do you do this? Over here. Flight plan, so... Oh, insert... Cancel. The destination airport is KHSP. Oops, that's backspace. E, enter. What? Okay, so we're here. Cancel. So we want... Where are we? We're BLF, KBLF, KBLF. And we want to add destination as a... Oh, I thought that was an H, it was an M. HSP. Gala, enter. Alright, map. So that's good. Jacob says, so after my internet mess this morning, I've flown 2 hours and 18 minutes with Ali and 15 minutes and no issues. I give up, no issues. Silly cat. B13, yay. Who knows? Alright, so we're set, ready with the next leg. We're going to turn that down, turn this up a little bit. So we're going to make our way down to No, this is just the second leg of 3. We've got one more leg, and we'll fly over the Martinsville Speedway as we go to our last destination, but this is only the second leg. This is the second takeoff. I just had to put some new navigation information into the computer. There's Scorpio on a 172 merged with a VL3. So one way to make a biplane. So that's ready to go, and that's all good. Absolutely. You can join us now if you'd like. We're on the East USA server. No airliners. Just keep it with a little propeller out front. Yeah. We're at Kilo Bravo Lima Foxtrot. We're heading towards Kilo Hotel Sierra Papa. That's right. That's what it showed as. It just was sitting in the same spot as a VL3. Kind of looked like a very odd biplane. At the moment, aha. Fair enough. Well, glad to have you along for the flight regardless, but you are welcome to join whenever is convenient for you. There's down in front with a 172 and my grandpa's livery. Okay, well, yep, brakes work. Brakes work very expertly. So, ooh, there we go. As Flacco 267 is following. Many thanks, dude. Okay, so we're on the runway. We're going to going 1 notch of flaps down. Lots of right rudder. Nose up, it wants to fly. Keen Lafford is in. How you doing, dude? Hope you're well. Look at this area. I mean, this is just, it's a neat little airport because it's right on top of a hill. You know, a hill that's just the right space for a little airport. It makes it really bumpy to get in and out of, but man, it's neat. Splasher 6 is in. It's great to be back online. We're flying over in Western Virginia. Not West Virginia, Western Virginia. We're on our way to the Martinsville Speedway. I've noticed that I've left the name tags on, so I'm going to turn them off real fast. I always forget something. There we go. Nah, you're fine, Splasher. You had things going on. There go the Thunderflies, getting ready for their departure. We'll do another circle of the field. You have a good one, Erlansky. I've not yet seen 303 Squadron, but enjoy it. There's an add-on where you can do this with the key. There is, but it causes problems. I've started to get issues with it and haven't used it since. Look at this countryside. So we're going to start getting into altitude, nav mode. So we should be good. Activate. Hide that. There's the airfield. Nice little airfield. It's tucked in the mountains, but it's very nice. I really need to shave, so it'll hide me. It's a nice plane. Just is. I've yet to see an add-on airplane that I haven't found some sort of enjoyment in. Some less fun than others, but I've always found a way to enjoy anything. Kingsman9965 with a subscription. Many thanks, dude. That's 3 months in a row. Glad to have you along, my brother. Hope you're doing well this fine Saturday. Make sure that we're doing we can cut the power a little bit. Look at those clouds. Isn't that crazy? This is absolute bonkers. Yeah, we'll turn our landing light off. We don't need it right now. Sun's up. This sim, as frustrating as it can be at times, always kind of makes you forgive it. Because, you know, it looks so good, and it's such a rewarding experience in general. That's awesome. That's how you get back to basics with flying aerobatics, is just little planes. Yeah, you can fly formation in anything, but it's just a matter of giving it a go. I seriously would love to know how many hours. Dude, I swear it would be their full-time job, because they're on, 3 hours before mine or Murph's stream starts. They're on during our streams. They're on during the weekends. It's just absolutely insane the amount of time they put in. but it pays. I mean, it shows the dedication they put into it and the work, the effort they put into it really does show. And just how awesome their flying skills are. Speaking of, I wondered why I heard a hum. Mama. Mama. Look at him go. That's just awesome. And I gotta zoom out just a tick. Couple ticks, I guess. It's absolutely incredible flying. We got two inverted. As Kaharia is now following, many thanks. Much appreciated. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Awesome. It's good to know that my pronunciation skills do work sometimes. Yeah, this is just beautiful countryside. And what better way to spend a Saturday than with friends and your virtual community. It's phenomenal. There go the Thunderflies doing their thing. I had to check to see if they're if they're doing that because there was a mountain I was going to fly into it. Scorpio's got to go. Dinner on the table. See you later. You have a good dinner there, Scorpio. Hopefully the food's good and tasty. I'm getting kind of hungry myself. I had some nice breakfastage. Some eggs and some sausage. But that was also a few hours ago, so the hungerage is realage, for sureage. Hope everybody finds the audio levels okay. Music's not overpowering, the game's not overpowering, and my voice is, well, tolerable. I've always said that I have a face for radio and a voice for the newspaper. Glad to see you in chat, Kingsman. Hope your evening's going as well as it absolutely can. It's just awesome to see you. Will you be joining for much of the Bremen flight tomorrow? As much as I can. Between the fact that the Bremen flight starts at 3 a.m. my time, and that's right around the time that I'm usually going to bed. So I'll be along for a little bit of it. I'll catch some sleep, and then I've got to bail a little early for my stream tomorrow, which is so long as nothing melts down between now and then, we'll be back to normal schedule. We'll be doing continuing the epic U.S. cross country. We're going to be starting out of Lincoln, Nebraska, and heading to Cheyenne, Wyoming? I believe so. So we're going to be trekking across Nebraska, making a stop in Ogalla, which found out that's a long leg. So it's going to be. I hope you're ready to do a whole lot of flying because it's going to be a long leg tomorrow. Man, look at the weather. So the weather started out real iffy, but man, it is turned out beautiful. In fact, I think I'm going to drop 1,000 feet. It never did get us to the full altitude, did it? It really is. So autopilot is set. Turn that off. I missed him. Just barely. See, it's just nuts. I mean, you could replace those with, PT-13s or the Vultee, was it the BT-19? Or even the BT-13. Basic trainers. No, it's PT. Basic trainers are like the Stearman. Thing. Because you had different tiers. You had the BTs, which are the basic trainers. You had the PTs, which are the primary trainers, and then you had the ATs, which are the advanced trainers, like the AT6. Maybe it was the PT-13? Because the Stearman was at the bottom level. That was your simplest learn how to fly. Then you moved up in something a bit more complicated before moving up into something with a lot more performance like the AT6, which would then get you into either bombers or warbirds. The Vultee vibrator. That thing is just, you're vibrating the whole time. The chat is back. I had my pad, no battery. Aha! Well, glad that your chat's back. Thanks, Kuros. Supper is ready. Great afternoon. PT-22. Nice. I just can never remember if, because I want to say that the Stearmans and whatnot were the BTs, the basic trainer teaching you the basics. The PT, like the Vultee, was your primary, where you did a lot of the training, or obviously the PT-22 being another one. And then you'd go to the AT. I know the AT was at the top level of the initial training aircraft because it was the high-performance, complex aircraft. If you're going into bombers, you'd move into something like, or something with at least two engines, so like a Beech-18 or something. Similar, if you're going into fighters, the T-6 probably. And then you moved up to either fighters, bombers. These bombers were either had 2 to 4 engines. Let them go. And let me tell you, those B-17s, they move around a lot. You know, piston aircraft, like even the Cap 10s that we're seeing, they move around a lot. So much in the air. I don't think people realize, you know, modern fighter jets, they move in and of themselves, but they're a lot more stable, yet designed to be unstable because of the, oh, look at the fog. Look at the ground cloud. That's awesome. But with modern jets, they have so many systems in the fly-by-wires making minute adjustments to keep the aircraft as, you know, smooth as possible. Where back in the day, you didn't have any of that. It was all, you felt every bump and whatnot. Viper Strike about the Fire's SW-121. It's an ultralight that's a 100 horsepower engine with a max speed of 120 knots. Is it an ultralight or is it a light sport? Because ultralights, you cannot have any passengers. BT-13 Valiant. Okay. So it must go PT, then BT. So your primary, then basic. Just seen a photo of the PT-22 Ryan. There's so many... Dude, the 30s and the 40s were just an amazing time for aviation innovation, and there's the reason why it's called the golden age of flight. So many wonderful, beautiful aircraft. Looks like we might have a Spitfire with us. Yeah, so the virus there, the Pipistrel virus, my money's on that it's actually classified as a light sport because you have 2 seats in there. Ultralights, you can only have, it's single occupancy basically. Because you cannot carry a passenger on an ultralight. It might have been different before they introduced light sport as a class. Because that turned into, that's a current restriction. Ah, gotcha. And that's why I think that I hear buzzing. Look at him go. I'm telling you, when we get more Warbirds and Bombers and C-47s and stuff, and Stearmans, I know DC Designs is working on a Stearman, which can't wait for that. I'm going to organize an air show because I know we've talked about it, and Murph's going to have one tomorrow. But I'm going to organize one, and I'm going to have it at Ypsilanti. So, Kilo Yankee India Papa. Because that's also the home of Thunder over Michigan. There they are. It's so cool. They do such a phenomenal job. But yeah, it'll be nice. I'm also thinking about, on one of my Tuesday streams, having a vintage aircraft stream where everybody needs to be in something that's vintage. So you got like the Piaggio 149. I'll allow the Savage Cub just because it's not that much different than the classic J3 Cub. With Wayne Butler is now following. Many thanks, dude. Cessna Bobcat AT-17 was used for advanced twin engine training along with the Beech AT-10 Wichita. Nice. I'll say this: the early Cessna twins and the early Beechcraft twins, Beechcraft made them look a whole lot nicer. You're gonna still fly this Cap 10 French plane. Yep. Yeah, and so we've got like the Savage Cub. There's the Piaggio P149, the Spitfire, the Corsair. There's a few others. I just need to remember them off the top of my head. I may have to wait for just more aircraft to be released and whatnot, but a nice vintage aircraft stream would be fun. And that's an idea I've been tossing around my head for a while. Wayne Butler, we took off from Kilo Bravo Lima Foxtrot I believe we're still in Virginia. We're heading towards Kilo Hotel Sierra Papa, and we'll eventually make our way towards the Martinsville Speedway to fly over for the race. Everybody loves the idea of vintage aircraft day, so it shall be done. I'll even allow the Steam Gauge 172, because, well, the 172 has been around forever. The Bird Dog, there's the Bird Dog. The Goose, that's freeware. East USA, Wayne. That's 100% okay, sir. The more the merrier. Look at the clouds on the ground, the fog, it's awesome. That's just nuts. So I don't think the X Cubs would count for vintage. I would probably consider the Cap 10 vintage. Look at them go. I'll have to compile a list of vintage aircraft. There's a couple freeware ones that I haven't tried out. There's like a Fokker D21 or something that's freeware and available. I just haven't checked it out yet myself. I'll admit, I think one surprising thing is I'm kind of surprised that no one has made better generic aircraft for the sim yet. I mean, obviously, most of us want to see actual aircraft, but why not spruce up the generic models a bit? If I had any skills at doing that sort of thing, I'd probably do it. Pretty basic. That's okay. That's not a bad thing. I definitely wouldn't expect a freeware Warbird to be, such of the quality of the Milviz Corsair or the Flying Iron Spitfire by any means. They do that in air show on vintage aircraft in France. We have one, the vintage air show near Paris in June. Nice. Yeah, I'll look into it. That's something I will definitely plan out, because I want to. That's something that I'd love to do, but I want to do it right. So I'll definitely plan that out. I think it'd be a lot of fun. As Windy Agenda 3863 is now following. Many thanks, dude. Hope you're well. Welcome to the flight. Murph's probably getting a nap by now because he's got a long stream ahead of him. 99L is okay for a quick spin, but not for a longer flight. Too many controls that don't work. Aha. That's unfortunate. Well, we'll give it a look. They flew Blair in the show for real. That's another plane that I've yet to pick up. The Blériot, it just looks like everything I hear is it's very difficult to fly, but that's why people love it. You can tell Wing 42 we can really use a Boeing 247 on the vintage aircraft flight. Let's see, it's easy to fly. Nice. Look at these hills, though. Are you flying as part of some event? You can join us. We're on the East USA server, so we do, or even server. The only event is, well, it's just my stream. It's kind of an off-schedule stream because it's a makeup day for Thursday. We got the Thunderflies with us still. We are in Virginia. We're on our way to Kilo Hotel Sierra Papa. Look at them go. They're absorbing me into their formation-ish. And this sim, I'm telling you. Yeah, not many buttons in the Blériot. That would be perfectly fine, Windy. We're right around the 100 knot indicated airspeed, so the icon would be just fine. Roger that, Windy. Roger that, Kaharia. We're still flying. We're about 2/3 of the way to Kilo Hotel Sierra Papa. Roger that. Look forward to meeting up with you. Look at that. Oh, I could geek out about that until the cows came home, I'm telling you. Oh, that's so cool. Scenery's great, the flyers are great. This is just so cool. Looks like we're getting more fog down below. Look at that. It's like the weather said, we're going to be cloudy in this area in particular, just extra cloudy. I currently am. You're not obligated to. That's just so cool. Make sure we're not going to fly into any mountains. Sure, engine settings are good. Look at this area though. Neither have I, but it's cool. That'd kind of be a real stinker to live in that particular area where it's just like fog right here. That's nuts. And to think it was thunderstorms and lightning, very, very frightening when we first left Kilo Tango Romeo India. Now it's cleared out to something much more majestic. Is there something there? Just the cloud. If there is a lake down there, I'm not sure. It's obscured. Look at all that, bro. I do hope you Thunderflies manage to get some rest tonight before your big air show debut tomorrow. And there they go. Find the ground, y'all. man, this is just fantastic. Oh, look, a highway. Oh, that would be a neat highway to travel down, wouldn't it? These guys are so good, maybe decided to go to sleep. They've got a big air show planned tomorrow to end off the Two-Tone Murphy Flight of the Bremen. Star Wolf asks, is that the jab route? It sure is. Goblin, yeah. No, they've been, especially this past week, they've been training very, very dedicatedly to for the big show tomorrow. So over on Two-Tone Murphy, or twitch.tv/Two-Tone Murphy, Two-Tone Murphy will be recreating the recreation of the Flight of the Bremen that the Irish Air Corps did back in 2003, based on the flight from 1928, where originally in 1928, two Germans and an Irishman flew a Junkers W2, was it a W33 or a W22? One of the two, I think it's a W33, across, and made the first transatlantic east to west flight. And then in 2003, the Irish Air Corps replicated or recreated that flight using a Beechcraft King Air 350. So Murphy will be recreating the 2003 flight, and it's going to be a marathon stream. So that starts at 0700 Zulu. For those of you in the U.S., that is about 3 a.m. Eastern time. So lucky you if you're on the West Coast in California. That's only midnight. Absolutely. So, how are you not a mod, Seamus? Give that link another try there, Seamus. Because it just showed up as asterisks. There we go. So head over to twotonemurphy.com for further details on the flight, including some history behind it. Just look at that. Music brought to you by hours of scouring the internet and watching other streams, and also by Stream Beats, to which I still thank Seamus for introducing me to Stream Beats. Actually, uh-oh, we got someone in a flat spin. We got someone going down. Looks like they recovered. That's what we like to call a whoopsie doodle. Look at this. It's so pretty. That explains quite a bit. How you doing, Hammy? Oh, that explains a lot. Oh, so we're showing an estimated time of arrival of 5 minutes, so we're about 5 minutes out. Let's see, the airfield Ooh. Is at an elevation of 3,793 feet. Oof. It's high up there. So we've got two choices of runway that it doesn't want to tell me what they are. And let's see. Can do Kilo SP go. Let's see. So we have runway 7 or 25. Okay, so we're gonna get some weather. Roger that, Kozaki. Sorry about the issues. Learned with Oz Flight Simmer, the Jabiru, a bird in Australia is nice. It is foggy. So wind is 109, so we're going to land on runway 7. Go back to Unicom. We should be getting up to it. Hello, there's a Spitfire. And they missed him out. Huzzah. Yeah, sorry about the issues there, Kozaki. Glad to still have you along as a viewer. It just they got to do something about those issues. Just flying over the airport now. The location is awesome. Nice. It sure is, Seamus. Look at this area. I do think we will have to increase altitude a tad bit to get up to pattern altitude, since technically we're below the airport. So we're gonna go up here. There, we're gonna go up to vertical speed 1, 2. No, we'll go to 500 foot a minute. Throttle up. 100% Kazaki. Yeah, tell me about it. After Thursday, something's better than nothing. Runway 7. 07. Oh, there's a cloud forming. Oh, that just makes... Oh, it's right there. Look at this spot. How about this? So actually, we're right on the runway. So autopilot off. Keep the nose up because we want flaps. And we can look at the location of this. My goodness. Yeah. So we got full flaps. We're high on. We're getting pumped around like crazy, guys. Oh boy. Look at the location of this. Oh, almost forgot to put me. There we go. Roger that. This is nuts. Someone needs to. This needs to be an add-on. There's the bounce. Oh, back on the center line. Trim goes to neutral. There's a TBM on the ramp. We're gonna get off to the. Man, this is a neat airfield. My gosh. TBM is probably a little overkill for this flight. You're gonna go way faster than me. So we'll get off to the side here. We'll put the parking brake on. Really, flight sim? Really? Really? Oh yeah, I'm telling you, that stuff's annoying. Flight sim, why you gotta do this? Why you gotta be like this, flight sim? Things were just going so well. Don't want to listen to you. So we'll wait for flight sim to reload. Killing me, flight sim. You're killing me. Oh man, we're right by the, we might actually be, so we crossed over at least part of West Virginia. We'll be flying over Roanoke, Virginia. We'll fly past a town of Newcastle. And of course, Sim Toolkit Pro is not picking up the waypoint, but that's okay. It doesn't need to. I leave you here. Thank you. You have a good night, nighty night owl. Glad to have you along as long as you could. You take care, and we will see you next time. All right. So it's HSP to MTV next. I only just about landed there now. So yes, we are going from Kilo Hotel Sierra Papa to Kilo Mike Tango Victor with a special waypoint in between, just east of the final airport, because we have a landmark to check out. Of course, the flight plans will always be available on the Discord. I provide them there in a handy dandy little zip file. It's also a good place to get flight plan information the night before I stream. So yes, Angelus to Blue Ridge. Okay, so thanks. There. Let's do that. Ooh, pardon me. It has been, let's see, 22. It's in the 9 o'clock hour. There. Good to go. That's good to go. Blammo. But Discord will have all the pertinent information for the streamages. You just missed the Thunderflies duo formation. Murph. Oh dear. I bet that was costly. That's a lot of damage. Somebody get the flex tape. And for those not understanding the reference, so this past Tuesday, which was my birthday, we were landing in Holland, Michigan, a place where I've had breakfast, flew in for breakfast before, I should specify. And Murphy was, well, being Murph and showing off a little bit. And he kind of did a flip and ended up going into the trees. Alright. So we'll turn those off. We don't want to fry them on takeoff. Nav lights are on. Strobe lights are on. That's ready to go. I want to make sure these are set. That's set. Make sure this is the throttle it's reading. That's set. That's set. And Yeah. That neighborhood is going to have to do some recoverage. Okay, so we want to follow this and go around and to the left. Yeah. It's low cloudage. We're literally in the clouds. And we're on the ground. So avionics are coming on. We'll get the autopilot sorted. I don't like it goes to a half screen. That's really annoying. VFR, altitude, enter. We want that coming from the FMS. Such that it is anyway. Hide that. Autopilot. We're going to set an altitude for... we'll do kind of heading. Yeah, it's 4,500. Vertical speed of 1.45 and nav mode. All right. So we shall be getting of the going and cloudage. My gosh. Oh, it's breaking. What is the waypoint called? Sightseeing one. It's probably not a POI listed on the map. It is the Martinsville Speedway. I used the a little nav map to put it on a waypoint of its own, but it's not something that would be, I don't think, listed as a POI in Flight Sim by default. Because Thursdays are our, which is when this stream normally would have happened, is our Chase the Cup series, as we follow the NASCAR Cup Series schedule and fly track to track as best as we can. Sometimes we kind of have to get creative because we're not doing a cross country in an airliner, so we just kind of find somewhere close by. Aha. Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily in Flight Sim directly, so I had to use a little nav map to get it in there. So it's a custom waypoint. Alright, so we're there. Don't need no landing light. Boy, is it windy. Look, and there's the Thunderflies. You gone with you? Alright. This thing is so susceptible to the wind, my goodness. Okay. One notch of flaps coming down. Help get us airborne. And airborne. Wow, look at that. This is a neat airfield. Just absolutely neat. That is cool. And this series is, it's taken me to places that I never thought I'd, get a new perspective on. And I've just really been enjoying it. It's just so cool. And look at that. That is nuts. That is absolutely crazy. Yeah, not into that song right now. Not into that one. Not into that one. That is just a cool airport. I would love to build a house right in this area, connect it up with a taxiway of my own. Actually, probably put a house right here, right in the middle of the woods. Make a taxiway to get to the runway, and that would be so cool. Whoa! 100%, Seamus. We've gained way too much altitude, so we've got to back her down. Go back into these settings, so nose down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then activate the autopilot. Nav. Altitude. Vertical speed. Altitude is 4,500. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Does anyone in the chat know of a tool like SkyVector that covers more of the world? Your best bet's going to end up being something like Little Nav Map. It's not quite the VFR chart that SkyVector is, but especially with the fact that it connects with Flight Sim, it'll give you most of the information you're going to want. It can give you airspace information. The one thing that I wish Little Nav Map would do that it doesn't is show you active airspaces of VATSIM. It doesn't do it, at least in a way that I want. Not in a way that like Volanta or Central Kit Pro does. Yeah. No, SJ Fly 2, I wish that, I wish the in-game VFR map used something like SkyVector, used real VFR charts instead of whatever the nonsense is that they're using. Yep, Navigraph are doing that, so that's exciting. But that's also a paid subscription as opposed to free. And it would be nice to have the sectionals as opposed to simply an aircraft or airport chart. And it would be nice if, you know, Microsoft just used Navigraph for their nav data, or even straight through Jeppesen for that matter. But if wishes were fishes, no, the world wouldn't be hungry. Kind of like if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. Ah, gotcha. So that makes sense. That'd be nice. Can't wait to see what they do with that. I just think that Microsoft needs to let Navigraph take over all the nav data, because they seem to be doing a much better job at it than whoever's providing it currently. Ooh, that'd be nice. I'll buy Navigraph when they add. Yeah, I mean, you figure it's like $10 and change US a month. I think it's like right around €8 a month. If it's something you're gonna use a lot, it's very helpful. I mean, very helpful. And especially doing any kind of streaming. Ooh, doing any kind of streaming, it's incredibly useful to get, you know, data that you need from here and there and whatnot. I'm on the beta list waiting for the alpha. Nice. I know I have the FMS beta program. If they do worldwide or mostly worldwide VFR charts of it, yeah, 100% SJ. And I think that's the irony is Microsoft and Asobo, and thusly third parties initially, will focus. They're making the best VFR flying sim without realizing it. And what I mean by that is they did what they normally focus on in a lot of ways when it comes to, you know, catering to airliners. Granted, the caveat to that is the fact that their systems aren't there, so they did focus on the visuals more than like systems. But more to the point is they made a great sim for flying VFR and then didn't include a lot of features that are useful for VFR pilots other than just looking out the window. It's a little bit of irony. And that is some impressive flying in the Spitfire. Is that Biggles? That almost looks like Biggles McGinty. And as soon as I looked at him, they flew away. Look at that. Yeah, 100%. No, that's not to say that I would personally love learning about IFR flying, but that's more to the extent of just I want to use this as a. Okay. Why you do this? I don't want to go away. Pardon me. You know, I want to learn about, you know, I want to use this as a tool for flying in real life, to when I can start flight training again. I want to use this as a supplemental tool to help keep me going. That said, I still love just having fun exploring. I'm flying real weather too, and it's gusty. It sure is. You know, and if I can get back into flying for real on any kind of regular basis, I may end up switching from Navigraph to 4Flight. 4Flight's a lot more expensive, but you can use it for real aviation and flight sims, whereas Navigraph you can only use for flight sims, which is fine. It's just A versus B. Star Wolf. This Wording's Learn to Fly gives you a bunch of tasks you can use FS for. Oh, I bet. I have about 5 hours of real training logged. Granted, it was about 15 years ago, but I've been around aviation my whole life. So I'm kind of I could fly. If I really needed to, I could fly. Like in an emergency situation, I could fly. I just can't legally fly. And, you know, flight training is expensive. Jabiru Cruise and absolutely Super Typhon. How you doing? Look at that. Now I'm starting to debate on whether we'll be able to see Martinsville Speedway or not. I like the Jabiru a lot. I just never spent a whole lot of time with it. So I decided for this leg, since realistically the most direct route from Bristol, Tennessee to Martinsville, Virginia isn't that long. It's a very short flight, realistically, in a straight line. So I had to make it interesting, and I thought, well, I don't want to go too, completely all over the map, so we'll fly something slow. And I thought, well, I haven't taken the Jabiru out. Let's take the Jabiru. So here we are. Look at the clouds, though. That's why I was asking if anyone knows where to get VFR charts for Australia. It's Australian Formula 1. Fair enough. Well, I know, like, Ireland's geo-mapping, whatever, they're equivalent to the U.S. Geological Survey, makes their charts. I tried to look them up for sale, but I couldn't find them. So I would imagine that the Australian government might sell aviation charts online, but don't quote me on that. Because even if you had the paper ones, it would be more helpful than nothing. Clouds are indeed, yes they are. I was just playing in VR and now I have a horrible, yeah, I can do that. I love VR, but I can only take so much of it before the weight of the headset just kind of says like, okay, I've had enough. Where's the weather frequency? AWAS is 1945. 1945. Yeah, VR2, I think it's clouds. It could be. When you have a screen that's a lot of white and grays, white and light grays even, and even to that and a lot of contrast, that'll just kill your eyes, overstress them. Did I say 118.45? Yes. Flight Sergeant is now following. Many thanks, dude. Hope you enjoy the flight. Okay, so the elevation of this airport's 9,041 or 941 feet. So So we can probably drop to, what's our heading? What's our heading at? 200. So we need to go down. I'm going to descend to 2,500. So we're going to descend through the clouds and hope we don't hit anything. Look at this. That's just cool. Don't do this in real life, folks, but man, it looks cool. And don't forget to hydrate. Ah, something in my eye. Come here. Let's make sure we're actually dropping. It's real hard to drop. Oh, that'll blind you. We'll talk about blinding lights. Got power back. How are you liking the Alpha? I love the Alfeo. It's fantastic in my eyes. Been very happy with it. We're going to turn the landing light on just for visibility's sake. So, we're getting a clear. Look at that. You can see the clouds moving. That's so cool. That's just, look at that. So you can definitely tell they've got weather coming in. And 2,000 feet might be a little too low. We may just want to stick with 3,000. Speed. There are small airports, yes. I mean, when you get states that have a lot of wooded areas, you're more likely to find a lot of just non-registered airstrips because people have an airplane in their backyard and they'll do their own maintenance on the airfield. but it could be just private, or even just registered as private even. Even. I'm just gonna say even a lot because I just did. Now, farmers will have, a lot of time farmers will have a strip of their own for, like if they have crop dusters or have a crop dusting service or their own plants for that matter. He may change gears. What's your distance from to the endpoint is... Oh, I thought I would have had that. One moment. Let's see. Flight altitude, show ETA. Good question. Distance is 52 nautical miles-ish. And if I recall... It's not very far from the speedway to the airport that we're landing at. So, I mean, we're talking maybe 10 nautical miles at most. If that. So, it's, the speedway is basically due east of the airfield. All the fun, man. We'll clear it. We'll clear it. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. Ooh, we got a... I wonder what that generic's supposed to be. Oh, pardon me. Good night. Do want to thank everybody for coming along with the flight. I know it's not a day I normally stream, so you've probably got your favorite streamer online and you're watching them, but yeah, you might have me up instead, so I'm very grateful. Yeah. It's definitely not a normal stream day for me, but this week was not a normal week. So I'm very grateful to have you all along. Hope you're enjoying it. And you know, I was kind of debating when I loaded up for the flight in the stream and saw the weather. I had a thought of, you know, maybe I'll fly some other kind of weather just to make it look prettier. But I'm kind of glad that I didn't and stuck with the live weather because it's really panned out to be really interesting. Corsair is showing as a Finanza. Is it a livery? Did he get an update? Because I've got just about every livery for the Corsair unless something new came out. Otherwise, I'm wondering if it got an update that I didn't know about it. Which is possible. Stock livery. Huh. That's odd. Interesting. I have to look into that. I haven't updated it. Weird. Curiouser and curiouser. Corsair, I'm going to carry with it. Yeah, that's a trick and a half. It took them a while, or it took a while for the ES to accept the Corsair for carrier service, just because of the difficulty in landing on a carrier. Thankfully, with help from the British, figured out how to properly land it, because you kind of have to approach it in a turn so that you're only straight with the deck right at the last minute, basically, so that you can always have visibility of the deck. I think Saturdays at 1900 are a good time for me to start streaming. There you go. Just remember, you gotta go with what's good for you. That's a lot of cloud. So, if we use the synthetic vision as a supposition of what's going on, we're starting to get into more flat land. So once we get past these hills, we'll get a little flatter, and we'll probably drop another 500 foot. And hopefully by then, you know, we'll be a lot closer. And you can see that we have a bit of a headwind going. It's mostly a crosswind with a little bit of a headwind component. But the biggest challenge right now is, of course, the cloudage. They should be. I got mag 1, bag 2, fuel pump, strobes. Don't need that. Yeah, it's always been doing that. My alternator master switch is on, but I don't see any other alternator controls. RP, choke. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, it could also be just the working title GX mod. I don't know. I haven't had the airplane randomly shut off, so I think we're in the clear. I've had people tell me that this is the non-moving rotor blades is because I have a not updated model. I have the latest that's on FlightSim.to, which is last I saw 8.2, and they still don't move. Yeah, my money's on it's just a bug. Got a couple of Corsairs. Weather does seem to be breaking out, so now we can see better. At least for now. But look at that weather that we flew through. That's just incredible. It's just absolutely crazy. It just looks so good. But yeah, with the helicopter, I have the latest that I can find, and I'm not joining somebody's Discord just to download the newest and whatever. Because I'm part of too many Discord servers. I'm not gonna go there for downloads. Headwind is strong enough, trying to catch up from behind, but just impossible. Yeah, it's a pretty stiff wind. So, get in the cockpit. We'll switch back to. Yeah, 119 at 7. That's not too bad. It's just where we are right now is really windy. Because that's showing 15 knots. Gosh. So we're kind of looking at runway 13 for landing. Probably. We got an F-15 with us now. Water is good for you. Let's see, a pair of Cat 10s, a pair of Spits. Surprised we don't have a pair of Helos. Almost looked like there was a golf course down there, but I think it's just a barn. Yeah. Just a beautiful area. So I think we'll be safe if we, you know, drop 200 or 500 foot. But I think we're going to stay where we're at. I think we're going to stay where we're at. Yeah, so the Garmin's showing low voltage, but if I come over here, hello. Basically it's what? Oh. It's showing right around 12 volts. Sure. I don't see why not. My only thing would be you probably wouldn't want to fly it in the weather that we had today. They have a tendency... And don't take any of this with certainty. If you want really good answers about what's good and what's not for VATSIM, there's a lot of great VATSIM controllers like Science Alpha Adventures. He's always willing to answer questions about using the network. But like they're not going to let you fly an Airbus 320 VFR. You're just not gonna. It's just not going to happen. Whereas they're probably not going to let people fly this IFR or in IFR conditions. So, you know, as long as you're doing VFR flying, you should be fine using this on the network. I'm getting back into VATSIM. It's a good tool for getting used to talking on the radio. Kingsman's still here in the background. Roger that. Kingsman, glad to see you're still with us. But VATSIM's a great tool for getting over that anxiety of talking on the radio, because you're still talking to real people. As I don't know what that is now following. Many thanks. But getting over that thing, especially if you're looking into getting into real flying, it's a great way to get over that anxiety of talking on the radio. Because by the time you get into, if you get used to VATSIM, two F-15s. By the time you get into VATSIM, or after you've used and gotten comfortable with VATSIM, doing it in real life isn't going to be much different. I mean, so it'll kind of help prepare you for that sort of stuff. Kingsman's sister came out a winner with the National. Nice. There's always the next time, Kingsman. So we've had a pair of Cap 10s. We had a pair of Spitfires. We've got a pair of F-15s. We used to have 2 Kilos. Hey, 30 pounds is 30 pounds. I need to lose about 100 pounds. I joke. I really do need to lose the weight, though. We do have an extra on about. I think that's a 172. I think last I knew there was a TVM, an X-Cub. Got a nice crowd with us today for Saturday. Yeah, look at the crab on this thing. Because it should be a straight-on shot that just isn't. I also don't hear multiplayer engine sound with the chopper. Kind of weird. Ooh, wow. And all that weather to the west there. I can't believe we flew through it, but I'm glad that we got through it. Nicely done. Man, this sim, it's the best looking sim and the best flight sim for VFR pilots ever. It'll be interesting to see what Laminar Research does in response with X-Plane when they decide to reveal what they're doing. I remember as a kid watching Concorde flying the Luge. That had to have been awesome. So, fun Concorde story. Well, I guess it's not fun, but interesting Concorde story. One year, my grandpa and I were driving up to Oshkosh. We made it into Wisconsin, and we're going to Oshkosh, and there's supposed to be a Concorde, or there's plans to have a Concorde there, and it just happened to be it was going to be there on one of the days that we were going to be there. On our way up there is when the Concorde had its late incident, and after that, there was no Concorde that was going to show up to Oshkosh that year, and it wasn't that long after before they grounded them. Came from New York, nice. The Jet Set Elite. The lightning generation for flight sims weather always kind of baffles me, because it doesn't always match up with where the clouds are. And I've seen lightning go cloud to cloud, and I've seen lightning go cloud to ground. But I don't think I've seen it just go from cloud to straight up in the sky. There's no ground up there. There's nothing up there for it to complete its circuit. But in flight sim it does. Yeah, 2003 last flight. So I want to say that 2002. Yeah, I think it was 2002 that we were going up there. When the incident happened, I think. Because it was before I went to basic training. It couldn't have been 2003 that the incident happened, because that summer is when I was at basic training. And I went there from the end of school to a week after school started. America has Pedro. I gotta look that up. Information. Let's see. Oh, so it was 2000. So the Air France Flight 4590, which is the one we all know about, that was the year. So it was 2000 when the incident happened. They were retired in 2003. Thanks, Wikipedia. Let's see, you were in Iraq. That was not a good place to be in 2003. One could argue it's not a great place to be in general, but that's beside the point. So we're almost to our waypoint of the Martinsville Speedway. And luckily, the weather's broken, so it's going to look nice. We'll be able to see it. There's the F-15I. So they have announced that the F-15EX is now just officially the Eagle II and is entering active service. Kind of a modernization of the F-15 platform, because it's still a phenomenal platform. Just needed a little bit of new stuff. We got something zooming down there with some lights. There's a YouTube video of that, I bet. It was definitely the talk of Oshkosh that year, what happened. So in 2000, it was definitely heavily discussed. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're actually going to drop 500 feet. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. I don't like this autopilot system very much. 5 vertical speed. So we're going to drop our altitude just a little bit. Got an airstrip right in front of us. 6 Victor Alpha 2, as Conquero is now falling. Many thanks. Hope you enjoy the flight. That's a nice little grass strip. Come on. Back for a minute on lunch break. Work has certainly been something. Saturdays be crazy. Don't tell me the clouds are right over the racetrack. Hope you're doing well, JW, despite all work being work. There's TBM and F-15. Now, Martinsville Speedway is one of NASCAR's oldest tracks. I think it's the track that's been on the circuit the longest. I think it started... The track was first opened in the late 40s. one of the shorter tracks, or one of the short tracks. I think this is the year that the Cup Series has been using, has done a night race at Martinsville. I believe the trucks got rained out, or the trucks or the Xfinity got rained out last night. I think it's the Xfinity series got rained out last night. So they're running it during the day today. So I think that's our airfield over yonder. That's probably a mall. And the clouds are pretty much going to be covering the track, which is just figures. And I'll tell you, racing on virtual versions of this track is a real challenge. But it's very rewarding when you get it right. It used to be that people would, folks would take their road course cars to a place like here because the track is so flat. Runway. Winds are 179er at 5. So we want runway 13. So there we can see the speedway. Lots of parking for RVs and whatnot. Not a lot of space in there on the track though. It's very, very flat and very, very small. They call it the paperclip. Definitely not photogrammetry, but at least you can see the track for what it is. Short, flat, half-mile racetrack with tight turns. They have a famous hot dog, and I think their hot dogs are boiled in something particular that gives them a particular flavor, but they're apparently really, really good. I've not been to there, but it'd be an interesting experience to find out what they're like. Definitely not corn dogs. I don't think. I don't remember. Some sort of unique hot dog shenanigans. But they're apparently really good regardless. Sonic corn dogs are good. And I haven't had a corn dog in a while. Don't tell me the airport's going to be right underneath those clouds. I'm betting the airport's going to be right beneath. That airport's going to be IFR. Bet you anything. Within reason. Yeah. Oh, why you gotta do this? Well, I got us into the mess. We'll get through it. So the airfield's elevation's right just shy of 1,000 feet. So we're about 500 feet above pattern altitude. It's going to be interesting. So we're gonna, at least we'll be dealing with a proper headwind. We're dealing with a tailwind now, which is fine. There might be some cloud breakage. We got lights. That's runway 31. We want to go around to the right. Turn off the autopilot. Off. Alright. So now is when life gets a little interesting. I guess we really don't need to use the yokage. Okay, so we have the road that's just... That road goes just on the south side of runway 31. So that's going to help us keep our frame of reference. Ooh, there's a 339 with us. Some lights off in the distance. Lights are on. Well, all the lights that it has. This is going to be an interesting landing. Into the clouds we go. Luckily, we also have synthetic vision, so that helps. Drop power a little bit more. And neutral with trim. There's the rabbit. So they have that going for them. That's good. Oh, we'll be fine. Get some cloud breakage up ahead. Oh yeah, we'll be fine. The Channel Coast is sacked in with rain and fog. No jump tonight. So we want to get in there. Come on, Cloud, go away. Shoe Cloud, don't bother me. Zoom, Midge. Okay, so we're gonna start doing that. One notch of flap coming down. There we go. There we got the real lights. Second notch of flaps coming down. Okay, we have the end of the runway. Want to be an actual pilot? Is the simulator up to standards? For getting going, I would say yes. Three. Spitfire above us. Truth be told, I am using the simulator to some degree to kind of knock the rust off of my own piloting skills to restart my own flight training. Yes, exactly what Kingsman said. The big thing to keep in mind is just keeping. You got to use it like you intend it. Like if you intend it to be nothing more than a training aid, treat it as such. If you just want to have fun, treat it as such. Just make sure your expectations are exactly where you want them. Is the simulator perfect? No, but realistically, none of them are. Okay, so parking brake set, engine off. Okay, so that way it actually logs the flight. So continue. I like doing the fun flying, but I also like doing things a bit more by the book from time to time as the training aid. So you can use it for both. Zoom. Resume. There's a Masonic Lake. I need to move the camera. This camera needs to move it. Yeah. The big thing that you're not going to get is you're not going to get the feel of the G-forces, and that's just inherent to a simulator without getting a full motion rig. So runway 13 open, Steve Solo UK is down, Satchel 33 is in, Flight Sergeant's in, Starwolf's in, Kaharia? Sorry, your gamer tag's missing part of your name and I forgot. Masonic Lake's in. There's Frozen, overflying. There's Druid. There's Scorpio. Ooh, Draco in the Corsair. Nice. Hold on to her. It's Flight Sergeant coming back in. There's Viper Strike in the extra 330. There's Frozen. No worries, Kingsman. Never feel bad about that. I'm just glad to have you along, and I'm glad I'm able to stream again. It's been a week. It has been one heck of a week. That can't be everywhere. We've got to have more coming in there. Right on cue. HCBR and Hammy in the Eagles. There's Frozen. Don't pull a Murph. There's Test Pilot 72 in a spit. Wombat 49 down in front and Windy Agenda coming in. Me too, Kingsman. Me too. There's down in front. See Wayne Butler in the MB339 overhead. Oh, Hammy. You hammied your own plane. Ooh, wombat in a spit. Quite a few spits tonight. HCBR with the really fast taxi. There's Frozen coming in with the Cap 10. Satchel's flying around with the PA-28. It'll buff out. Sure, yeah, a couple $1 million. What's a couple $1 million repair bill? Flight Sergeant's coming inbound. Keep your eyes on this one. There's no pilots in your plane, dude. No pilots in your plane either. There's Satchel 33. Scorpio, enjoyed flying in the live weather. Good flying. See you again. You have a good night. Thanks for flying along. It's been a good day. It's been a good day. Had a couple of CTDs, but nothing that we couldn't overcome. Because that's how we roll. We don't let it get us down. We just persevere. It's a neat location for an airfield. Seen lots of good locations today. Got some warbirds with us. Just an overall phenomenal day. Glad you enjoyed it down in front. So, I'm back. The computer's recovered. Streaming works. Might need to, look at a few settings here and there, but, I mean, that's normal. But yeah, thanks so much, everybody, for flying along, coming with me, watching, just being there. Incredibly grateful for that, for the new follows. Hope you enjoy the content. I stream normally Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays at 3 p.m. Eastern or 1900 Zulu. Yeah, I'm just glad to be back. Glad y'all came with me for the flight. We're going to see about raiding somebody. See who's online. Ooh, 757's on. I think we'll give somebody a raid. Now that my list is updating. So, thanks for coming along. We'll take care, or we'll definitely see you next time. Be sure to check out the Discord for the latest on the next flight. I'll be posting tomorrow's flight plans tonight sometime. And don't forget, Two-Tone Murphy is doing a huge stream tomorrow starting at 0700 Zulu, which is 3 a.m. Eastern time. So be sure to tune in for that. So until next time, thanks for coming along. Be good to each other. Stay safe out there. We'll catch you next time. Take care.